Let me just drop down that score speed and we're in, guys. This is going to be game one of the loser bracket final in Clan Masters. The final showdown. The winner of this match will go to China to play in the Live Land final, compete for the grand prize of $10,000. So all to play for today. This is a rematch of an earlier set of games that occurred in the tournament, where VNS Legends surprisingly beat favourites SY in that matchup. So, you know, they're in the driving seat today. SY are the challengers, if you like. Vietnam have come straight down from the loser bracket, sorry, the winner bracket final, and they will be feeling confident today. They've been practicing a lot, as have SY, and in fact they've practiced a lot against each other, and I know they've been splitting those games. So, both teams will be having a good idea of what they're up against today, their opponents, and both teams will be feeling able to beat their opponents. See an early ball lane coming in here for VNS ACCM, and he's really messing it up. Maybe a little bit of nerves here, a little bit of rust to be shaken off for the first game, one of the first games of the day. He's almost going to lose his scout here. That's a terrible amount of HP to be taking as he takes in that ball, but he's going to get it in safely. And who's he taking that ball off? He's taking it off Paladin. So let's start with all of this, going through the players and their civ positions. ACCM and Yellow are now kind of guarding ACCM's extra ball on the side as Paladin Scout comes forward, perhaps looking for the counter lane and getting no such luck. There's the third ball, or rather ACCM second. The third he would take as long as he doesn't get counter lamed. But yeah, ACCM playing Teuton's flank. This is Team Random Civilizations. And then we have Say My Name, aka Yellow. That is what I will probably call him more often than Say My Name. Don't get confused. He should be made to play in the yellow colour, given that he's most known as VNS Yellow, but he never does. It's usually in grey, actually. But yeah, he's playing Mongol's Pocket. That's pretty nice. Then we've got Backed, aka 8 Euro, obviously more commonly known and more well known as Tyrant Backed, playing with his Vietnamese compatriots. He's playing Turk's Pocket in his traditional orange colour. And then finally, VNS Cool playing Japanese flank. I think good positions overall for Vietnam there. Japanese on the flank is probably the most important thing to have here. All three of the other civs can play pocket pretty well. Teutons in the pocket would be ideal, I think, rather than on the flank, but it is going to be a Teuton's flank war here anyway against Paladin. Let's see what they're Xing here. Yet more ball laming going on. This is presumably ACCM's one from... Okay, ACCM going to lose his scout there. Paladin's going down to low HP, but they've stopped the ball steal. That's presumably the one from there that ACCM had, and he's taken the one at the back. So let's see. The ball's going back. The scouts have disengaged. Yunghwa's still there, but with 8 HP, I don't think he can take that. Sometimes you can get away with just one hit from the ball, but it's very risky. And you need a little bit of luck. But anyway, yeah, as I was saying, probably the only thing that the Vietnamese team might have preferred was having Teutons on the flank. Sorry, in the pocket rather than the flank, but it's a Teuton's flank war on the left-hand side anyway. And ACCM's are hit by one ball. And has Paladin even found that second ball behind his woodline? Because he doesn't have a ball under the TC. Oh, he hasn't found his ball. This is disastrous for him. It's a good job he didn't lose his scout in that fight, going down to 13 HP. You'd think he'd be really quite worried about this now. His deer are far forward and he's going to wall them out, so it's looking pretty bad for him, to be honest. A terrible start. Great one for ACCM. Let's go through and look at the rest of the Chinese players and their positions whilst we wait for this little pause to elapse. Some are saying Yo is losing a ball, but he's laming it back. Let's start over there. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, it's a pause, Robo. Yo lost his scout, but Lix brings his ball back. Well, my mouse froze then, but working again. So that's going to be the second ball in the USTC, so it looks like one lane for one lane here. Hell of a lot of laming going on in this start of the game, which Vietnam have traded evenly on the right hand side and done much better on the left hand side, and even better than they could have hoped, considering that Paladin hasn't actually found that ball behind there. Still looking. I don't think there's any Ooh, I think it's literally one tile, isn't it? So it could stray. It could stray here, but it's not done so in a way that Paladin's actually spotted just yet. Yo is now saying, got a ton of deer down here, and I think what does he want? Licks, his ally, to push them in. We've now got the game run trying to speed up because we had to pause. That's unfortunate. But yeah, returning to the civilizations, going across, the pocket to Paladin is Yinghua Mongol pocket. Then we've got Licks with the Japanese pocket. If this was a less important game, it's just a rated game, I'd expect Licks to just do some crazy forward the opposing pocket or something with Japanese. But I don't think he'll be doing that today. And then with finally Yo playing Turk's flank. So yeah, I think that Vietnam have the better positions here on virtue of the fact that they have the Japanese on the flank, and obviously their Teuton player is in a much better spot after the early laming, so advantage to them for now, I think. Pretty open looking maps on this side. Yo's front area is wide open, and you can already see his intent to try and build a bit of a shield in front of his gold. But pretty messy looking map on the whole. Not really great wood lines unless he goes very far from his starting TC. Drush already being built up by VNS Cool, although is he thinking of a faster feudal and going man-at-arms? Judging by his food count, absolutely not, and his now going to eject those militia and see what he can find. Believe his scout is out of the picture over here. Oh, actually no, there it is, still there with 36 HP. Yo lost his scout, of course, and his Drush is going out. I won't say blind because he does have some scouting information of his opponent, but obviously he doesn't have that line of sight to track down fleeing villagers and such with his Drush. We'll see what he manages to hit. He will hit Cool's base a little bit earlier than Yo does. Seems Yo is going to have his deer patch come under attack since VNS Cool has gone straight there. Having a scout still alive at this stage has helped out with that. Meanwhile, Yo moves in on the wood line, and Cool needs to react to this. Fighting with some of the villagers, retreating 2 of them, but that Drush will certainly be able to do good harassment there. I continue to reset the speed, unfortunately. It's that spectator server's desynced. Typical Arabia play for SY is Paladin slinging if they've got pick civs, picks mines, and then just slings love chain. Don't know if you'll manage to do that today in this particular game, I mean. But he is team walling his whole map, which would not team walling his whole map, just walling himself in, which would indicate that maybe that's still on his mind after the delayed start that he's going to have.
Start the game already!
But also potentially something of a fast castle build as well coming in.
Yes.
Start the game already!
A lot of little pauses in here, kind of disrupting the game. Very annoying when you try and do all this little bits of micro in the Drush wall. Cool's scout will go down now, but Cool's own Drush came home to deal with Yo's, and it will clean those militia up pretty well. Might even have 2 left to still achieve some harassment. In fact, Cool's Drush hasn't taken a hit just yet. Paladin did find that boar in the end. So let's have a look on this side.
All hail, King of the Losers!
ACCM actually doing a few scouts from the flank as Teuton's there. Gonna have to head to the pocket if he wants to do any damage because Paladin's fully walled up. He should see that. Just now uncovering the extent of Paladin's walls with that spearman. And their X in the pocket. You can see those X's on basically ACCM has said to VNS Yellow, where's the pocket? I need to go to him. That's, you can kind of imagine what they would be talking about on their voice chat just there. And Yellow's own scout getting in on the action a little bit.
All hail, King of the Losers!
Licks is the one slinging Paladin actually, so judging by these walls, which are now being reinforced with stone, we've heard the sling coming out, and the Teuton's flank will be receiving the sling to go into knights. So those scouts from ACCM are going to hit the economy of Yinghua Lovecheng. The wood line being quick walled. Will he get that in time? Yeah, he will. I think there's a one tile gap there and even here, but yeah, those scouts are going to get in. Deny that, will they? Yeah, definitely no HP going to be put down on those palisade tiles that Lovecheng's attempting to drop there. That's one villager going down. They shouldn't get another one, but this is good disruption. It's meaning that Lovecheng only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 vills on wood, but they're going to get a second villager there. That's a little bit sloppy from Lovecheng. Those villagers could have got back to the TC, although sometimes pathing's an issue. A little bit of tower annoyance by Paladin there, although that's pretty good because the ACCM doesn't have a ton of wood lines to choose from. Meanwhile, back to also doing scouts from the pocket as Turks. Those can go into light cav, and they will do any moment. His castle age is almost about to kick in, and once that does, then those light cavs will be able to clean up villages very, very quickly, and Yo's going to have a bit of a nasty surprise here. Those stone mines on the vills going down. Was he going straight for a castle from the pocket? That's what I want to know.
King of the losers!
But he isn't actually up yet, is he? And that one light cav is going to force all of those vills back, probably kill one more. And Yo's having a horrendous start here. Just want to check what ACCM's doing. Still doing scouts, fully walled, with mostly palisades or all palisades for now. Any slinging going on the VNS team? No. So we've got VNS Yellow playing 2 stables from the pocket as Mongols, also getting his second TC up. ACCM's going to be delayed, so he's going to stonewall. And finally, Yo has driven backed away from his base, those pesky light cavs, and they'll look for other targets, but obviously they're going to encounter walls here. But yeah, look, Yo is in a really bad way. He's having to defend at home with towers. Obviously we talked about his map being open. He's still not clicked up to the castle age. And he's a long way off as we go to his point of view. He's down by quite a few villagers relative to some of the other players. I'd say in total, healthy villager lead for VNS. All of their players somewhat above 30. And now he's got an issue on his gold as these Japanese men-at-arms come in from VNS Cool on the flank. Yo really doesn't have an answer to this at the moment. He doesn't have any military buildings that can deal with it, and backed light cavs are there too. So, and the night stream again. Yo's in all kinds of trouble now. But 2 knights from Lovecheng do arrive to try and save him. Let's see how Paladin's doing. He's actually broken in through the walls of ACCM. That hole could be pretty important in the context of this game. ACCM's now having to hurriedly panic wall everything. Try and get some stone walls on the wood line, but he's kind of delaying in getting in those tiles of stone that he needs. He needs one there and one there very, very quickly. Oh, that's not. Yes, it is a gap. Or is it? I don't know. That's so... Must not be, because the knights would have gone through, but that's one build down at least. And now ACCM's economy is looking in bad way. He's struggling to take wood in a lot of places off his gold. He won't be able to block up that hole, but at least he's got a Mongol pocket doing 2 stables, so he'll be able to pump out camels relatively quickly to deal with this. Although the issue is that Fengjin Paladin is receiving sling, so it will require VNS Yellow to produce a lot of camels to shut that down. Back still lurking around with these 2 light cav in the night. Yo's now built a wall around his stone, which includes his blacksmith, and he's on the way to the castle age finally. At least his opposing flank, VNS Cool, is also only just now going to the castle age. But he is a few vills ahead, and his economy will have been in better shape at this point. I suspect if we looked at the resources, he would have collected so much more. Meanwhile, the bloodshed in ACCM's base continues unabated. ACCM is down to 22 villagers. This is just an absolute massacre now. They haven't been able to plug the hole. There haven't been enough camels arriving from the pocket from Say My Name, VNS Yellow, and ACCM barely has a villager working at this point. He's in awful shape. He's trying to defend with a monastery, but good luck with that when you can't take gold. He's lost all the villagers on this wood line. And let's just have a look at his resources. He's actually got 500 food, which I'm not surprised because I guess he's actually been able to keep some villagers working on the farms while the knights have been in his base. And given that he's got all that food in the bank and he now desperately wants gold, he's sending every villager out to the gold mine, but the knights are back. He just so desperately wants to get that wall up, but to be honest, you don't want to do that with the knights in and Yellow not having any camels in to help you out, unless you've got at least a couple of monks. And once again, he's trying to get to that gold, but it's not going to happen. He's not able to afford a single extra monk now. That one's going to go down without getting a conversion. This is a disaster for ACCM. And any nice early start that he had, Laming Paladin has been reversed pretty handily at this point. And it seems like they're not committing too much to go over there and help him out now, with the wall tiles having gone up with at least no, there's not even actually a patched up hole there. Yeah, VNS Yellow, Say My Name, does not seem too intent on actually running over there to help him out with too many camels at the moment. Meanwhile, Yo, was he trying to go forward and drop a castle? Is he that crazy? I don't even know. He doesn't have the stone to do that. He's building it at home. Okay, so he was trying to attempt a castle drop there. Fortunately for him, those villagers will get home to build the castle in a defensive posture, try and protect his forward main gold. A little bit surprised it's not there on that little hill, but yeah, it's not going too well for Yo or ACCM, and it's, as someone in the chat is saying, it's kind of turning into a little bit of a 3v3 situation right now. It's tough to judge who's in the worst spot. I think it's ACCM, to be honest. He's got 15 less bills at this point, and at least Yo's going to have a castle protecting the front of his base. Say My Name is here with the camels now, but there's still a lot of knights from Yinghua +2, +1 bloodlines with not so good upgrades on the camels, and a couple of knights from not from Love Chain, from Say My Name, from Yellow. And it seems he's still hesitant to take that fight, at least until he lets the extra camels in through the wall. Good team play there, and that will get cleaned up now. Finally, Feng Jin's presence in the base of ACCM will be cleaned up, but, well, just checking it will actually be, but yeah, it will. So, the thing is, how much does that actually cost Vietnam? Well, ACCM 23 villagers when one of the members of his team is on 81. It's pretty crazy. But now they're looking to apply a bit more pressure to Yo. They're idling some farms. Yo does have a castle, of course. He's getting up a second town centre. And Janissary's starting to come out, outraging the crossbows and doing enormous damage to those camels. Although getting too close to the crossbows isn't a great idea there in those relative numbers. So let's have a look at Back's point of view. Still booming massively for now, resources quite low, but he's dropping extra stables, and I think that's a sign that he's kind of preparing to produce from a lot more stables, either as a late Castle Age flood or after going to Imperial. Bloodlines being researched, handcart coming out. I think VNS Yellow, Say My Name, is now doing a good job of keeping Paladin on the defensive a bit with those camels, but it's a lot invested in those camels. It's slowing down his boom a little bit compared to what he could have been if he were able to produce a few less camels, and it's going to just delay him getting into the Imperial Age, making that Mongol transition. Engine with a couple of stray knights on the far side of the map, looking to pick up a couple of vills from Backs. Not quite sure why they're wandering all the way out here just to build a single lumber camp. Seems a bit odd. He's got some more knights moving in on Backs villages under this TC, and that's like 30 villages underneath one TC, so they can't all fit in, and quite a number will go down here. But Bact's on point there. Got a couple of camels and knights of his own, couple of monks. He'll clean that up, but you know, 10 villagers could go down here. So good little raid from Paladin. Whether it was worth the knights remains to be seen, because he did basically lose them all. And Yo getting onto a respectable number of villagers now, 48, whilst ACCM still trails behind with 32. Say my name, VNS Yellow prowling around the edge of Fengjin's base, trying to almost shut down those knights at the source, really, by just keeping the camels outside. And getting husbandry as well, so he'll be able to pursue Fengjin across the map wherever he goes. But Fengjin, Paladin, he's on the way to the Imperial Age. Whereas I imagine, say my name, still quite a long way away actually, almost no food.
King of the losers!
Wouldn't be surprised to see when he does go up to the Imperial Age, stay on the heavy camel, perhaps a little while longer than it if you were just wanting to focus on the Mangudai transition. And now Yo is trying to apply some pressure to VNS Cool's base here. Going forward with some Janissaries and Mangonel and a battering ram. They can break through there pretty quickly. But VNS Cool will reply with a siege workshop of his own, trying to shut that down. The issue is the Janissaries do actually outrange the Mangonels and do significant damage to it. Well, Bact in the back of Love Cheng's base, who is now up to the Imperial Age, Love Cheng that is, preparing to do Mangudai. Elite's still a little way away, but he has got Bracer and he's starting to do all the other upgrades, favouring an early conscription there as well to start producing those Mangudai faster. As we now see fair sized scuffle on the outside of VNS Cool's base. A lot of crossbows and stable units from the Vietnamese team here. Should be able to clear this up. And Yo is forced to retreat home, where he is protected by a castle, and he's built his base intelligently here, creating a bit more of a shield so that those Janissaries can retreat to the safety of the castle. Meanwhile, huge engagement in the middle of the map where between the camels of Bact and the huge army of knights that Fengjin actually has now. He is on the, well, he's just reached the Imperial Age. He's clicked Cavalier first of all, and that's a scary number of knights accompanied by a sizable wolf train heading over to VNS Cool's base. They have opened Cool's base, so with those Cavaliers he could have pretty much just run in and do the damage now. +4 armors being researched as well makes them basically impervious to Castle Age crossbowmen and TC fire, and they could do huge damage to Cool. I kind of fear for him there, although they're also coming over to protect Yo a bit. And as Paladin heads over to the right hand side, he's also preparing to launch a push against the Vietnamese on the left hand side. He's aiming at ACCM with battering rams, and I think he'll get through there probably. ACCM doesn't have a siege workshop yet. He'll want to try and stonewall behind it and then get a siege workshop up to take down the Mangonels. Fortunately, they're not heading it through this wall, which VNS Yellow will manage to complete to shield that kind of area between him and ACCM. And it seems that the line of sight that the VNS team had, or the units they had in this vicinity, have enabled them to see the army of Cavaliers coming from Paladin, and VNS Cool gets the wall off just in time there, fortunately for him. But now 3 players from the SY team are grouping up and attacking VNS. You've got Love Cheng coming in with the Mangudai, which are now elite, just missing Parthian tactics and chemistry by the looks of it. How much HP? There's not even any HP on that stone wall tower. The Cavaliers can go in. VNS Cool is going to get pretty gutted here probably. They're now responding. Do they want to go in or are they going out? They seem to be sitting in the gap in the wall indecisively. The crossbows are there for VNS Cool, but they have paltry upgrades really. He's just now hitting the Imperial Age, but he could, if he lose all those before he ever gets the chance to get Arbalest and Bracer or anything like that. Those crossbows have got pretty much nowhere to hide from the +4 Cavaliers. Meanwhile, Paladin is also trying to find if he can do some damage on the outskirts of Say My Name's base, but he is defending with Mangudai and a castle there, and at the same time trying to push into ACCM. but as we predicted, Stonewall was coming up from behind, defending with a siege workshop. So for now it looks like SY are going to focus all their attention on the right hand side, where VNS Cool remains pretty vulnerable and is losing villagers left and right here. There's even probably a hole at the back here. Yep, there we go. And that is the key for Paladin to wipe out more and more vills here. Cool has hit the Imperial Age. He's getting Arbalest and Chemistry, but he's down to 7 military and 66 villagers, with more than half of them idle. He's in a really bad way here. Just as ACCM has kind of reboomed and getting into the game, albeit still confined to the Castle Age. Now it's VNS Cool's turn to be just wiped out almost. And meanwhile, all the SY players are in decent shape here. Yo's getting onto an okay number of villages. He's managed to go up to the Imperial Age, and he's doing useful work with those Janissaries, even trying to do a castle drop in a position to hit 1 and potentially 2 of the gold mines for Cool. And Cool is just laughing at the situation now. He's down to 56 population, and he's got Paladins, Elite Mangudai, Janissaries and a castle coming up on his face. There really is no way to react to this. As a Japanese player with very little population, it's almost nothing you can do. One who's only just hit the Imperial Age, no less, and now the SY team breaking through that kind of team. Well, it is a full team wall actually that they've thrown up, but Lovechang's already on the opposite side of it with oh no, the red wall is actually Lix's, isn't it? Sorry, I'm looking at the colours wrong just there. But yeah, this team wall between ACCM and Say My Name broken through. Huge ram train coming out, just cap trams. But that will be able to take down that castle in pretty damn quickly anyway. Mangudai shredding heavy camels at this point, and VNS Yellow just doesn't have enough Mangudai of his own to respond to this. Meanwhile, Cool continuing to laugh. He can't hide any more villagers in his TCs, and he's just dropping like a stone in population. 22 villagers. His remaining Arbalests in the back under threat as well, although Bact is at least going to protect the last few of those. It's an absolute massacre in Cool's base. Pretty remarkably, ACCM is still actually way behind him in score, but he's got a lot of researchers kicking in. He's preparing to try and go Imperial Age and Cavaliers, but is it going to be too late? I rather think that it is. And now Lovechang makes his push against the second one of Say My Name's castles. The Paladins are here supporting them from Fengjin. I really need to get off Bact's point of view so we stop hearing that noise. There we go. So many more Mangudai coming for Lovechang. He's up to 70 military actually. I think that's pretty much all Mangudai. I haven't seen a siege weapon from him just yet. You can almost shoot down the castle with Mangudai. He's got that many. Yeah, a couple of siege weapons here as well. He's going to push against the other side of VNS Yellow's base at the same time, and supports Yo on the right hand side as the bombard cannons come out, and VNS conclude that the game is lost. So SY take game 1. I was going to say they get one step closer to China, but they're already in China. They get one step closer to playing in the grand final in China, rather than being there merely as organisers and casters and spectators. I think obviously the damage they did to ACCM when he didn't get his last 1 or 2 tiles of stone walls up was pretty decisive, and then of course breaking into Cool's base in the late Castle Age there, they just kind of caught VNS out with a sort of a triple push when they didn't have VNS didn't have much military on the map to react to it in that location at the time, and the damage Cool suffered was just catastrophic. And once SY got that advantage, they really drove it home. Paladin obviously with the most kills there and buildings raised, being the guy who was pushing for most of the game, receiving sling. And yeah, all the players getting up to okayish numbers of villages in the end, but obviously we saw ACCM whittle down to 19 at one point and then spend the entire game booming and not participating in military terms. And Cool obviously got to 90 and then dropped to 20 in the space of about 3 minutes. So how's the stream going in terms of performance? Because I noticed my CPU was a little bit high earlier. Is it stuttering at all? Next spectator delay hasn't started yet. Good job you did a Lord. Well, good job you did a Kappa, Lord Farron, to avoid the ban. Let's put some music on at a low level. We'll be into the next game in a few minutes, but obviously we do have that sizable spectator delay in place, so 3-4 minutes I would have thought. The players still haven't launched a spectator delay, so still be waiting a little bit of a while yet. Apologies to Tasso for not updating the score quickly enough. And Ick the Lion. Yeah, I think that previous game was an example of what happens when one team's slinging and the other team isn't, and the team that isn't slinging doesn't walk properly. That's pretty much it. VNS equals very not sling. I mean, you don't necessarily have to wall, but you need to have the right defences, whether that be walls, camels, monks, slung knights of your own. VNS didn't really have any of that. Say my name kind of left ACCM to die a bit when he should have been pumping camels and sending them there, I think. But this is the same as when the two teams played each other for the first time. SY won game 1 Arabia, and they won the second game as well, I think. I think it was a 2-0 lead that Vietnam Legend turned round to make it into 4-3 in the end. So, you know, we can still see Vietnam claw this back here. It's not a surprise. The SY took the game 1 Arabia, and Vietnam actually won the game 7 Pick Civ Arabia last time out, so I'm sure we'll also have some surprises in store and a close match, even if that one was quite convincing, albeit decided, as I mentioned, probably by the failure to properly take the proper precautions against the sling.